Everything's going.
Now somebody can come in and push the button. Right.
I've got my battery charging over there, so if you get electrocuted, sorry.
Did everyone get a handout sheet of topics to be covered? It should be going around.
Whenever you're ready.
How you doing,
Steve? Brad.
Pardon me.
some high school kid out there just for weddings. I do. I was coaching when he was there. Now the new guys, before my time.
Indoor meet.
As a senior college, I'm taking high school.
Boom. That's something special.
Is it better? All right, everybody, before we get going with Steve and Brandon, we do want to make sure that you guys are talking to our vendors. We got a lot of vendors. They give a lot of support to the clinic and to our association. You have a little punch card like this in all of your binders. So when you go and you visit the vendors, they're going to mark off that you were with them. Once you have this filled out, put your name on it and drop it in one of the boxes in the back of the room. You'll be eligible to win door prizes in our general session. We do have a door prize in this session from Gil. And what a great session for it, because Gil provides every year for us. Their door prize is a discus. So we have somebody is going to win this lovely discus, and it is going to go to the person who has a little smiley face on their notes. In the top corner of their notes is a smiley face. That is you, sir. So, and hopefully everybody goes in and sees all of our vendors. The way the vending room is set up, the cookies, everybody loves the cookies. The cookies are in the back of the vending room this year. So walk on through, get yourself a free, soft, fresh baked, delicious cookies from your own court. All right, thanks guys.
I might add to what Frank was telling you here. We're set up here so you just go straight across, avoid the crowds. Go straight across into the back room and take a right. So you can get, and they have Coke, and I think they still have coffee, iced tea, everything back there, plus the cookies. That's the main reason I come to these things. That punch card he talked about needs to be turned in at the end of, or maybe the beginning of the second afternoon session, because they have to have those ready for the general session, which is really kind of number 3 in the afternoon. The ballot card, ballots that you have in your binder have to be turned in at the end of this session, because they're going to start counting them. They have to separate and count it. It's kind of a strenuous task there. So if you haven't done that yet, you might kind of have that out. And you know, when Brandon is clicking, anytime he clicks, check something off and then go on. Okay, so in between. Okay, Brandon is the 2008 Nike Outdoor shot put champion. So somebody must have taught him right at Warren Central, right? And he's still Lawrence North. Lawrence North, that's right. He's at Warren Central now. Okay, yeah, I get that east side of town all mixed up. But, okay, yeah, Lawrence North. We on one of the state championship teams was 08. Runner-up in 08. Okay, so he was with a bunch of good athletes, that's for sure. He did get an exercise physiology degree from Indiana State, so he knows the science behind it as well. He's already done shot put. I think he got pretty good at discus too. And he's going to tell you about that now, okay? Go get him, Brandon.
All right. You man. All right. Hello, everyone. I didn't shake your hand, sorry. Brandon Pounds, good to meet you all. Thanks for coming out and getting and learning something new. So I'll start this off by basically saying this is totally open discussion. Anytime you need to stop me, raise your hand, you know, whatever. I'm fine with that. Cut me off. You know, do something to get my attention so we can help you out the best we can. If someone to your left or right, you know, miss something, let them know. All right, we're here to learn something and help each other. So I'll start that off by video because throwers watch a lot of video. We were born off videos. Visual learners. Some are visual. Some have to go through it. Okay, so we'll just start by looking at this video here, and we'll just kind of watch it a couple times. Okay, what you're looking at, airman, explosive, powerful, vertical, and aggressive. Okay, there's no part of this throw where she has a downside. Okay, most important thing about this is momentum. Okay, you're trying to create that speed, trying to get that torque, but you can't rush it. You rush it, your throw is done. All right, so if you look at this, you can just see how she's very patient. Okay, and she's very upright. So I'll just run it a couple times just so you can see it, and then I'll pause it and kind of go further on. Okay, so the simple things, what's important, your setup, all right? Everything starts from your setup, it's in your hand. Okay, always start, step one, get the disc, throw it up and down. Get that feel of it. Okay, it's a different feel. For me, it was very different. I just wanted to be a shot putter. That's it. So discus was very hard to take a light implement and slow down and be patient, but be aggressive as well. Okay. One thing, your hand placement on the disc. Don't let them cup it. Don't let them grip it. All right. There's no way to squeeze that disc out. That old saying of squeezing the soap. It's not possible if you're here. Okay, there's no way possible. So understand, it's just a light drill, tossing that disc up and down just to get that feeling. Okay, while you're doing that, you're telling them your thumb helps you or it hurts you. Okay, your thumb down in the discus throw, you're going to take it straight down. You get that thumb up with your chest up, we're in business. Okay, so always start from the basics. Every year, give them a refresher. So you got your hand placement on discus. Okay, after that, they got it. All right, let's start throwing. So we go to the importance of a power throw. Power. Okay, it's an explosive event. From the front of the ring, everything is created through your arm torque and hits. Okay. So it's very important in your power throw that you're trying to be explosive as you can, but separated. Okay, what I mean by that, it's in your hips. Okay, everything is a separation. Everything you're trying to create a torque in discus, but it's a slow torque. Okay, because your hand, it can't rush your hips. So when you're in the front of your power throw, and this is just simple. Just have them stand at the front and just let them torque up, okay? With that being said, focus on how they are in the ring. Okay, it's a good base. Don't let your athlete do this 100 times. They're wearing themselves out, all right? So let them get in the ring, take a couple seconds, maybe a couple winds, you know, let them wound up a little bit. Then after that, it's in their hips. You see athletes instantly, they just throw that arm instantly. But everything opens at the front. So there's no separation. So just the importance of a power throw, separation. Okay? And you're finished. Then you got your head and your eye. Where's your head going to be looking? Okay? When you're out of the back of that ring, you're focused. You have some type of focal point. that you have to give your athletes, whether it's high or low. And you kind of have to play around with that, because you'll get athletes who need a focal point up here, and you'll get a few who you can take their focal point down a little bit lower. But what that does, and even in that power throw, it keeps me back. If I'm looking here, I'm already open. I'm already cheating. So I know I'm going to over-rotate as I push out that back. So it's very important for your head and eye contact. And then we'll go through degree of the throw. It's up here. All right. Come here, it's flat. Okay, you want to be up around a 45 to 50 degree angle, posting up. Okay, don't let your athlete be down here and then they try to bring their arm up. Make them post strong, post big. That'll create that height, which is your arm and hip height. Okay, those things work together. Your hips are too low, something's going to mess up. Because it's all in your hips, it's all in separation. And then you have the ground connection and separation. Finish of the throw, then drills, lifting, and stretching. So we'll go back to ground. Most important thing of the thrower, connection, ground connection, that quick power source. Okay, when you feel that ground, it's a reactor. You're reacting off that ground. Now, whether your athlete pulls it early or they just be patient, that ground can either hurt them or help them. So if we're coming out the back, and I'll just walk through this, stop me whenever you guys have questions. If I'm coming out of the back, okay, first things first, when I'm starting to wound, okay, I have to sit here just a little bit and challenge your athlete to get over that left side. And if they're a left-hand thrower, challenge them to get over the right side. But the focus is not to let them throw that arm open. They throw that arm open, they're dominated. They'll crash to the ground. Okay? So get your athletes to understand when they're back in that wound position and they come here, it's a turn and a sprint. Trying to get them downhill. You're trying to get them to sprint position in that ring. All right? So out the back, a big wound, it's going to hurt you. Unless you have some big monstrous athlete that really can't handle 7 feet, and it's possible. You got some guys just can't do it. Okay? That's when the coaching comes in, you switch it up. So when you're here out the back, and you got that weight on this left side, this arm is closed, it's on the chain. Everything works off that. Okay? If you force it open, you're dominated. There's no way to stop momentum once it starts. It's either going to go to the ground, it's going to go out the front. All right, so when you get to that position here, you're in a sprint. You're up tall. That's where shoulders and hips come to play. It's your hip level. And then you're trying to challenge that athlete to sprint to the front and get there and feel that ground. After that, we're in the reaction phase. Okay? Most important thing about getting to the middle, don't let them land flat. Can't turn a flat foot. Make sure they're landing on that toe. Get up on that toe. Make them feel that toe. Make them honor it. It's helping them do everything. All right? There's not really a lot in the throw where you're flat foot. Okay, everything's up. You're in athletic stance. So when you're coming here and you're in the middle, I'm ready. My chest is up. Okay? You're in a nice seated position right here. I can take off running if I want. Because I'm ready. And everything is straight, up and down. I'm vertical. And I'm vertical across. So I'm not here. I'm not teeter-tottering. What that's going to create is that dip. You probably see a lot of athletes who aren't very strong. They'll dip it at the end, thinking they're getting something out of it. They're just tearing their momentum in the ground and trying to bring it up. Okay? So when you get to the middle, everything's upright. This is when you have to act like something is pulling you. Okay? So once you come around here, I'm coming. I'm up. All right? After that, it's my right time. It's time to grind that foot and get around it. But don't sweep it. Okay? That's the most important thing. That hurts a lot of kids. They sweep that leg up. Okay? They think it looks cool. It does you no good. All right? Stress to your athletes to pick up that left and put it down. You put it down, now I'm in ground reaction. Now I have all the time to work my hips and right and let my arm catch up. All right? Most important thing again when you get to the front, arm height. Can't drop that arm down here when you get here. That arm has to come up off that hip. When it comes here, it's up. All right, they are coming out of the back, ready to go. That arm, it's caught. It's not up here because I'm beat. And it's not down there because then I'm a scooper. All right, so it's very important when you get to the middle that that arm stays back and it just trails. Then when it comes through the middle and you're driving and sprinting, it's right off that back end. And I'm real tall. Now from here's the fun part. Just have fun. You're at the front of the ring. Hardest part is out of the back of the ring. Getting to that middle. Because you can either go too fast or too slow. Okay, focus is having the right speed to have more at the finish. So don't tank the kids out of the back. You know, slow them down. Make sure they feel out of the back. It's very important. They rush that side open, they won't feel anything because they'll overplay somewhere, probably in the middle. Any questions or anything?
What's your foot position in the middle?
Foot position in the middle. You're diagonal to the sector on your left side. So I'm here. All right, my foot is running. Okay, most important thing, I'm balanced. I'm in the middle, ready to go. Okay, so when my foot's in the middle, I'm on that toe, and it's already pre-cocked. It's already ready. Okay, make sure the kids don't land their foot here. It takes a long time to turn that foot around to get to the front. Okay, so go ahead and help them. Tell them in the middle that it's got to be ready. Then that makes it easier.
I see a lot of them getting a little hop and getting toes almost going straight back.
Coming to the front.
Yeah.
I did that a lot. I think it's because I was a shot putter. You know, you have the best of both worlds, but it's two totally different events. Okay, most of the time with a shot putter, you'll see them, they'll come around on that toe and they're ready. So that toe is pointed. With the discus, you got to get on that toe. You got to be ready to grind that toe to get to that toe board to the front of the ring. Let's see. So we'll go back to the video and we'll watch this. And then you can just kind of watch. Out of the back, she's so aggressive that you will almost miss it. Okay? But you look right here. Sorry if you can't see that, I know it's a glare. But if you was to pause this right now, her right foot is right down that sideline. She's straight up and down. Both sides are balanced. So the only thing she has to do is make ground connection and sprint. And she's to the front of the ring. Now let's just stand up, slam the door. You know, it's over after that. So if you watch it, you'll notice how she takes that right and she drives it across, which is here. And you'll see how long she is with that throwing arm. It's up. She's got it ready. When she got to the middle, she's so active here, all she has to do is take her left, put it down, which is what she's doing here. Most important thing, she's closed off. She has her upper body just kind of being patient. She knows that her hips have to wait. Okay? You gotta be patient with your hips. Because throwing all comes from the hips, comes from the ground. With this position, head and eyes, they're focused back. She's not peeking. It'll land without them watching it, promise you. Okay, so with this foot here, she's gonna drive that foot into the ground to create a ground reaction, which is there. Soon as that left gets down, it's right back up to pull her body up, okay? But she didn't have a point of the throw where she was down. So every little thing that she was doing was helping her to get to the end of the throw. And if you look at her arm and chest, it's tall. You can see how much weight is on that front leg for her to post. So the only thing she has to do is slam the door and throws over. All right? And she gets away from it. So most important thing with this, separation and ground reaction. Two most important things of the discus to me. Okay? We'll kind of imagine that in your head as we go on. Any questions?
A lot of European throwers stop in the front instead of reversing. We don't teach that. Or is that a valuable concept to stop? And the block actually stops the rotation and then the right arm whips through the throw?
Yeah. So that's a non-reverse.
Right.
So you take an athlete who has a hard time finishing the throw. So you keep them non-reverse. Okay? What that makes you do, it forces you to use the ground. There's no way that you can come up early because your feet are contacted with the ground. You know, they're connected. They are on the ground. And you'll see a motion like this. Okay, and they may switch feet.
Right.
But what they're doing is, they're getting that pull so long that they have no time to cheat themselves and open up early. So it really depends on the athlete. If you have an athlete that's having a hard time finishing the throw, just ground them. Keep them grounded. That's in shot put or discus. What that's going to do, it's going to force them to stay on that as long as they can. And you'll get younger athletes, they're just ready. They'll go in the ring and they're spinning. And you know, the discus. Okay, because they're so ready to throw it. So you make them stay grounded, it's going to force them to use their hips as a power source. Most European throwers, they just figured it out. They use every part of their body and ring to get that big throw. No unnecessary movements. So I like it. I like non-reverse. I like it because it forces the athlete to just use your body. You know, your legs are powerful. We're built off power. Throwers are built off of power lifting. You got your power cleans, you got your squats, your bench, your hang cleans. Then you got your explosive things like box jumps, med ball throws. You know, you may have extension jumps or jumps for height. You know, everything's an explosive event with the thrower. So if you take an athlete and you make them grounded, you're just teaching them to use the ground. You're teaching them to keep that pull as long as they can to the front of the ring to get here and just finish it. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else?
Can you describe the mechanics of the left arm from the middle of the ring to the front?
Okay. So my left arm, if I'm in the middle, can you guys see me better up there? Okay. So my left arm, if it's in the middle, and I'm here, so you guys will work on a South African, if you've heard of that. Got your left arm to kind of help the pull. So if you're in the back of this left arm, once it gets to the middle, it's here to help you. All right? But you don't want to just, you know, throw it down. It's got to really help you. But you got to remember, you want to stay level. Okay, so this arm here, it's going to be here for you when you get here. Now you want that big finish. slamming the door. All right? So it's not a false movement, but you almost kind of use it to open your chest up at the front. Again, with that, you don't want to rush that. Throw open that left arm, throws open your hips early. Okay, so you're basically just stood there and did that. You didn't do anything with your lower body. Anybody else? All right. Okay, I got a few pictures here. Out the back, if you can just look at this young lady, she's very long. Okay, stress that to your athletes, long. As a discus thrower, you have to be long. Nothing short helps. Okay, this doesn't help. Be long. Okay, use your levers. And you can just tell she has that disc, and it's probably not going to move. It's going to stay right there the whole time. And she understands that. And you'll look to the next picture coming out of the back. He's in that sprint position. He's upright. He's not leaning over. His eyes are out. He's looking exactly where he's trying to go. And the same thing. We're up on that toe. That arm's up. Eyes are up. Head's up. And that arm is back. If that was a video, he'd just sprint right down. Okay? Most important thing, stand upright. Then you get a little bit past the middle. You get to the middle and it's now time to use your ground. Alright, it's time to change over. They change the speed. As soon as that right hits the ground, it has to keep moving. Okay? Dead right foot does nothing. What it's going to do is going to make your athlete work very hard and probably throw like this. Okay? Out of bounds. Okay? Make sure your athlete, when they get to the middle, that's an active right. It's moving. Okay? But it's moving not too early and it's not too late. It's right on time. Okay, and you have enough energy still to change over to that next speed and come up on that. Very important. You can see his left arm. It's kind of medium. It's kind of right in the middle. But he's going to take that arm and he's going to rip it high to bring his chest up. And you can also see how high that disc is already. Okay. Now one part of that throw will he have to scoop at this because it's already up there. It's ready to go. I put this guy next to it. As far as just going on, if I was to put that bar on his back, it wouldn't fall over. Okay, it'd probably just be straight, right across his back. And you can see that because it's very important. Shoulders are balanced. He's not losing any balance here. Out the back, you have to make sure your athletes are here. Okay, everything's here, sitting up. All right? Don't want that false movement left to right. So I pretty much, just kind of questions, open discussion. I kind of like to start the year, this is just as far as with discus. I teach it in fours, quadrants, okay? Split it up so they can understand it. 1, 2, 3, 4, split the ring up, okay? Right foot in that one, left foot in that one. Let them know where their feet go. Okay, it's hard just saying put your foot in the middle. You know, get some chalk, draw it out. Okay, let them learn by visual. Most of the time you'll get an athlete, they'll struggle, and they'll hear you all year. And then you may do one thing or show them one video, and it's that visual side, so they can see where that foot goes, or they can see how high that arm is supposed to be, or they can see where their eyes are looking. Okay? I felt like it was very important when we start putting it on paper. Start writing out a lot of things. Okay? It's better like that. They're learning. Discus is all technique based. Throwing is all technique. Okay? It's a skill. You adapt it, you develop it. Okay? You start to learn that. Any questions or anything? Yes?
What's a drill for just simply the release? I have kids that struggle with flat hand.
Okay. So you get that disc that just catches all the wind.
Yeah.
All right? You can take your discus, partner up across from each other. Simply just roll the disc. Squeeze it. Roll it to them. Okay? You're symbolizing the squeezing of the soap. Squeezing it out. Every time that they're doing this, they're just not getting their thumb down. Okay, what that's going to teach them is to use that thumb. Okay, and you're just rolling it. Just let them roll it to a partner. But the focus is rolling it straight. You don't just want them rolling it fast. It's not about that. Okay, you're trying to make them understand how to release the disc, thumb down. Okay, one drill we used to do is take a towel, the towel in your hand. Come out the back and just hold that towel. Okay, all the way to the end. Then you get that towel, you get that big pull. Okay, the more and more they get that sensation of feel, that thumb's going to go down. One thing, that athlete's going to start getting frustrated. So they're going to understand how important it is to get that thumb down. Okay, so that's one thing you can do as far as drills. A couple other drills. Take a cone. Put a cone in their hand. Okay, let them feel that cone. They will really have to work and use that. Okay? Or put a cone in the ring. Those are just things you can do if they're having trouble in the ring or they're not getting it down. You know, just kind of baby step it. Do something that you feel they're going to use, but don't overwhelm them with so many things trying to switch it. Any other questions or anything?
On the power throw, do you have them go ahead and go through the whole rotation, or do you have them, stop, like talk about earlier with European throwers, or does this depend on what they're capable of doing?
I like a non-reverse because it makes me work. If I reverse, I'm already excited and thinking about reversing. Okay, you got that athlete that winds up, and you say reverse, oh, they're probably going to tank it early. But if you force them to stay grounded, that's going to be the longest pull possible because they never lose that contact with the ground. But that kind of depends on the athlete. You have an athlete that's a little bit more skilled, let them reverse. That means they're anxious. They want to learn it. But don't let them reverse just to create a bad habit. Force them to use that ground. There's another hand.
An advantage to teaching the rotational shot, if you've got a good discus thrower that's okay with that, how do you convince the kids that see everybody in the other schools throwing with the glide to get them to rotate with the shot?
Confidence. It doesn't matter about the kids, just focus on just him. Tell him it's the better him. You're there to help him.
Do you think the rotation is better in the shot than the glide?
Depends on the athlete. For example, myself, I was a glide for 2 years. And I figured out maybe I could get a couple more feet if I go to rotation. But it took about 1.5 years to learn it. So that's one thing, you gotta have the time. You can't force that on maybe a student that's maybe a junior, and you're trying to force that into a senior year. He won't catch it because it's too much that goes into it. And it's totally different than a discus. A discus rotation and a shot put rotation is different. So it depends on an athlete. You may have an athlete that's very tall. He may not be able to rotate. So he may be strictly glide. But he's going to have more power because he has such a big base. You may have a smaller thrower that's a speed thrower. I was more of a speed thrower. I was faster in the ring. So power was something I had to adapt to. So I didn't get a lot of that through glide. So I got more out of rotation. So it just depends on your athlete. But it depends on them. If you say, hey, you want to glide? Or you say, hey, you want to rotate, and they're like, probably not a good idea. They don't like it already. Hey, you know if you like a good idea. If you like a good idea, you're going to like it. Yeah, I want to do it. Okay? So you got to think about that. You ask that kid, hey, you want to glide? Or you want to rotate? And they say, no, absolutely not. Probably not a good idea. But it just depends on that athlete. Any other questions? Yep.
What suggestions do you have for throwing inside if A, you don't have any place to throw discus inside? What kind of other things can you use to, you know, like simulate a discus? Like with med ball, we use a shot put, but
Yeah. So towel. Towel and tape it up. Okay? Just symbolizes holding something in your hand. You may not have that sensation of holding a disc, but you have like, you know, your disc toss that you can get that. But if you're inside, just throw a towel against the wall. It won't bust the wall. You know, if it does, I don't know. You didn't hear it from me. Any other questions or comments? Exercises, lifts, anything about that? Oh, one thing I will say, as far as lifting, guarantee your students the best or your athletes by developing their core. Develop their core. Everything comes from the core. You have a kid with the biggest arms and his core is weak, it's no good. Strongest legs and their core is weak, no good. Okay, I know for a fact I did a lot of abs. I did a lot of things with core. I did a lot of things that challenged my core. Okay, challenge their core. You know, that is almost going to be the savior of a bad throw if you have a strong core. And what that's going to stop, it's going to stop a kid that doesn't have a strong core. It's going to stop them from leaning over. It's going to stop them from being like this. And they're going to learn how to stay upright with that core. And that's for discus, that's with shot, that's with glide, that's rotation. Everything is coming right from your center point. Okay? And that's everything with your shot and discus separation as well. Separation is all in the core.
You kind of mentioned in the last session too, like what kind of mental exercises to try this? Because I've got a thrower that mentally psychs herself out. And I'm sure a lot of other people have the same problem. What are some mental exercises that we can do like in practice so that they're kind of mentally prepared for meet so they don't freak out and go crazy?
Put them in a meet situation at practice. Walk in and say, hey, we're competing today. Warm up. You know, then they get to the mindset to think differently. You get to the meet, it's kind of nonchalant, then you warm up, and you talk, and then you throw. You know, so get them in practice and get them going. Make it a meet. You know, get that student to make your practice like a meet. You know, same intensity. You know, if you scream in the meet, scream in practice. You know, if you're grunting in the throw, you know, screaming at practice. You know, try to pull out that same energy level in practice that you're doing in the meet. Then ask that student, like, hey, what is it that I can help you with? You know, what are you confused about? Or what am I saying that I can say different? You know, then just kind of see it. You know, maybe it's a picture you need to show them. Maybe draw it out. Draw a funny face, but draw what it looks like. You know, draw a stick figure. They get that stuff. And you got to remember their kids. So they're not going to remember the first time. You know, so change it up different ways. There's different ways to learn things.
What's your ideal meet warm-up?
My ideal meet warm-up, I would take 2 laps, get my heart rate up. I do line jumps. You know, I get my heart rate up again. I do some sprints, maybe some lunges, maybe some high knees. And then I go right through technique, repetition. You know, I'm away from everybody. You know, one thing that's very important with throwing, it's not an on switch. It doesn't work like that. Okay, your energy doesn't build up in a switch. It starts at home. You know, so before that meet, say, hey guys, get up, get breakfast. You know, wake up early. You know, be active, drink water all day. Then when you get to the meet, get going. You know, right off the bus, get those dead legs off of them. You know, they sit down all day at school. Then they get to the practice. They're probably wore out. Okay, so get to the meet and get their heart rates up. Get a sweat going. Don't let them just get to the meet and take off everything. Make them wear long sleeves, long shirt, warm their body up. So at least when they're in the ring, they're already sweating. It's kind of funny, but when I used to throw, I'd be in a full body sweat just from the warm up. And that's because I wanted to create that sense of energy. I knew it was nothing I could just get in the ring and flip it on. It has to happen before you get inside that ring. So something like that, just something with the ab, something that's going to increase your heart rate. And then maybe something about repetition with your drills, whether you're working the right or you're just running through your throw in your head. It's mental. Throwing's mental. You're either mentally strong or you'll be mentally dominated. Okay? And I mentioned this in the last session as far as a warm-up. When they're actually doing their warm-ups, don't let them go out there and just warm up, kind of build it up. Now you go out there and you go at it. You'll hear some coaches say, just give me a little at like 10%. And then that 10% stays 10%. When it's time to flip that switch, they don't have that yet. So right when you get to the meet, try to create that sense of intensity. It's a event that requires energy. You can't be good without using it. So I would do something just to get their heart rate up, get them in the mindset of competing. And, yep.
For advanced throwers, what's your thoughts on throwing overweight implements just from a standing throw on?
It's a positive and a negative. The positive is it's going to create a sense of a longer push. It's going to make that student stay back, or it's going to make that arm stay back longer because it's heavy. But if you do it too much, you're just wearing down the kid to create bad habits. So if you want to throw a heavy implement, my idea is just throw like once or twice a week. Not a lot.
Exactly.
Power throws are fine. That's going to create them a big base. It's going to let them understand I can create a bigger push with this ball. But then you got the bad side. When you go back down to that lightweight, they start rushing it. They've been feeling this heavy implement for so long. Now it's time to slow it back down, and they don't have that. So it's all about kind of controlling it. You don't want to wear them down, beating them up, with the heavy implement. But it is a positive. It's going to create that explosive side. So I just wouldn't do it a lot. Don't overdo it. But every now and again, if they're ready for it. If you have an athlete that's struggling with a 6, don't give them a 10. And then, you're taking some steps back. But yeah, for power throws, that's good.
So what's the correction for an athlete who's constantly throwing the high ball?
Oh, that thumb. It's all in the thumb. Okay, most of the time, if you slow down their film, they're like this. Okay, first thing that does, discus goes up, wind takes it. Okay. Then it kind of just sticks in the ground like a knife. Okay, most important thing, just thumb. Put them on a track, let them roll the discus. They got to feel that. Make them kind of just do light throws at practice against a fence or something, so they can get the feel of that discus coming out. And then let them see it. Let them see a video, multiples, a young lady throwing, a male, a masters, someone that's younger. Because everyone can learn from somebody. But if you got a kid that's just doing it up and down, they're throwing it straight up, it's all in their thumb.
What's your thoughts on practicing with a weight jacket?
Weight jacket? I don't know. Depends on what will be the exercise.
An advanced thrower, South Africans,
I think that could be a positive and negative too. Because if you're putting that weight jacket on that student and he's fatigued, when he gets to the middle, he's crashing. That weight jacket is going to bear him down. So if he's not mentally ready to be in a weight jacket, or if he's not throwing 110% without the weight jacket, probably not a good idea. But you take that weight jacket and say, hey, you're going to do your sprints in that weight jacket. That's kind of different. Because you can't create a bad habit sprinting, Or if you do, you can fix it. It's kind of an easy fix. So I would, if you're going to do a weighted jacket, just do like sprints, or when they're doing box jumps, or explosive jumps. But if he's not really ready for it in the ring, it's probably not a good idea.
Spinning with a squat bar?
Spinning with a squat bar. I'll tell you a story. I had a bad time taking my lift and putting it down. I was a big sweeper. Big sweeper. Couldn't break the habit. So we got a squat bar. Okay? I got out the back. I was good. I said, oh, I got this. I didn't rush it. Then I got here and I swept with that squat bar. And that squat bar took me down. And then I was mentally up here, I was going crazy. So one thing about that is, if you slow the athlete down and have them feel it, you know, you gotta stress them to slow it down. I just wanted to go fast, you know. Let's go fast. It didn't work. Okay, it started to create a bad habit. What happened was, put a trash can in the ring. Okay, gotta get that bad habit out of there. So we put the trash can in there. So we're trying to simulate stopping this big sweep. Put the trash can there. I kick it, catches my leg, hit the ground. Stop the habit. All right? Instantly. All right? So a little pain stopped that habit. Well, what that taught me was I can't do it. You know, I am ruining my throat with this one bad habit. And that one bad habit is going to create another bad habit. Okay, it's a chain reaction. It all works together. Mess up one thing out the back, it's going to come back and get you in the front. Because there's not enough time to slow it down and fix it. Okay, so it's kind of like that. Any other questions? Comments? All right. But if you have any questions, my email is B as in Brandon, pounds, Pounds, 1969 at gmail.com. I'm currently with the Warren Central women's team. So I practice like you guys, so if I don't get to you in that first day or so, I'll get to you, I promise. All right? But yeah, just always keep them motivated, you know, keep their spirits up. They come to you to learn, and it's a hard event to learn it every day, and just kind of stay after it. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.